I've reached the end of my week. I'm so refreshed because I did all of my prep on Sunday and I had barely anything to do all week for dinner. So today I'm just gonna make a sandwich for dinner with prosciutto and pesto and hard-boiled egg and Parmesan and a salad, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. I love sandwiches for dinner. Thank you, Sarah. Have I ever showed you how to make the perfect hard-boiled egg? The key is not actually boiling them at all. So put them in the pot, cover them with cold water by 1 full inch. Then place them on the stove, bring them to a boil, but just bring them to a boil. Turn them off, cover 12 minutes. No more, no less. Meanwhile, ABP, get everything ready. First, you wanna make your toast. Make 4 slices of toast. This is an open-faced sandwich, so get nice, big, round loaves. I never really thought of this before, but if you slice from the center of a rustic loaf, you get the biggest, longest slices, so that's what I'm doing. You know, we don't often make sandwiches for dinner, but when we do, we want to make sure that they're really special. So this one is no exception. It has hard-boiled egg and pesto that I already made and prosciutto and Parmesan cheese. It's just got a lot going on. We don't want to just, you know, it's like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, you don't need a recipe for that. So just put them on a tray. They're going to go into an oven and get toasted. You can do this in a toaster if your toaster is big enough, but my toaster is not big enough for these huge slices. I'm gonna make a really delicious fresh salad to go with my sandwich. It has 2 ingredients, radishes and celery. I really prefer the inner tender stalks of celery, the celery hearts. You can trim off the leaves if you want. You can save these leaves for garnish. They're actually kind of tasty, so don't get rid of them. They have kind of a parsley-ish flavor. I kind of like it, and they're pretty on top as garnish. And then just very thinly slice your celery. I like to slice it on the diagonal because I think it's the most beautiful that way, but for this purpose, it really doesn't matter. Slice it however you want. Just make sure it's nice and thin because you're gonna dress this and you want it to almost pickle. Not quite a quickle, but you want it to sort of marinate. Marinate is a better word. To that bowl, add, well, obviously all of that, and then some radishes. It's about equal parts radish and celery. They need to be very thinly sliced, almost wafer thin. Just use a really sharp knife, kind of like a wafer thin mint, if you know what I mean. If you have a mandolin, now would be the time to use it. I'm gonna push this aside to make my dressing in the bottom of the bowl. Some mustard, 2 teaspoons of mustard, 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar, and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. 1, 2, or as Jamie Oliver says, glugs. 3. I can smell the toastiness of this bread. It is ready. Cook with your nose, people, especially if you have a nose like mine. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Dad. All right, the toast comes out. The eggs are also done. They've cooked for 12 minutes. So use your handy dandy spider because you can get all 4 eggs out at once and put them into an ice bath so they stop cooking immediately and make them nice and cold and easy to peel. And then we can go back to the front. Okie doke. It's sandwich time. Take them out. Freezing. The fresher the eggs are, the harder they are to peel, because as the eggs get old, moisture evaporates out of the shell and the membrane separates from the shell and it makes it easier to peel when they're boiled. But of course you want to use fresher eggs, so it's a little bit of a conundrum. Can I tell you what eggs are the hardest eggs in the world to peel? Eggs from Martha's Farm. These eggs actually look really fresh because the older the egg gets, the larger this divot on the bottom of the egg gets. So check out the divot. I'm going to use an egg slicer because I think that they are cool and fun and they make short work out of something, I don't know, slightly annoying. You can also slice mushrooms in these things. Assembly time. 1 slice of bread per person. Take some of that delicious pesto that you made earlier in the week. You can use store-bought as well. A couple pieces of very thinly sliced prosciutto. If you can't find prosciutto or you don't like prosciutto, use any kind of ham that you like. Black Forest ham would be delish. Then 1 of those sliced eggs. Pretty, right? Springy. This is looking pretty delightful. Some of these celery leaves, just because I have them, certainly not necessary, and some people don't like them. They add a little bit of bite, a little peppery bite, never hurt anybody. Some Parmesan cheese, a couple shavings, or some grated parm, just a little sprinkling, or nothing. But isn't this prettier? A little bit of that fresh salad. And then you have very fresh and springy dinner for the very end of winter. Say goodbye, winter. Say hello, spring. Let's eat. Goodbye winter, hello spring.